perception shapes our world. In the book I Am That, Nisargadatta repeatedly emphasizes that the external world is not separate from the mind. Everything we see, feel, and experience is a reflection of our internal state of consciousness. He uses the metaphor of a dream to explain this concept. In a dream, the mind creates an entire world, people, places, events. Yet, when we wake up, we realize it was all a projection of the mind. According to Nisargadatta, our waking life operates in much the same way. What we call reality is a dreamlike projection, a hologram, generated by the conditioned patterns of the mind. This brings us to an important insight. Change your mind and you change your reality. When we understand that our perception filters and distorts what we see as real, we begin to see how much power we truly have. Our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions shape how we interpret the world. If you carry fear or anger within, the world appears threatening and chaotic. If you cultivate love, peace, and awareness, the world transforms into a reflection of that harmony. Nisargadatta's teachings invite us to turn inward and become aware of how much our inner state defines the outer world. Now, think of reality as a hologram. A hologram is a three-dimensional image created by light, but it only appears real when we look at it from a certain angle. In much the same way, Nisargadatta explains that the world we experience is like a hologram projected by the mind. It seems solid and real, but in truth, it is shaped by our consciousness. The moment we shift our perception, when we realize that the world outside is a reflection of our internal state, we begin to see that reality is not fixed. It is fluid and malleable, responding to the changes we make within ourselves. Another key teaching from I Am That is the idea that our identification with the body and mind is the root of all suffering. When we see ourselves as separate beings, bound by our individual thoughts and experiences, we create a limited, ego-based reality. We feel trapped by circumstances, struggling to control or change the external world. But when we recognize that our true nature is beyond the body and mind, that we are pure, formless consciousness, we begin to transcend the limitations of the material world. This realization allows us to step outside the illusion of separateness and recognize the interconnectedness of all things. It is here that the hologram analogy deepens. Just as every part of a hologram contains the whole image, each of us contains the essence of the universe within. The world we experience is not something out there, but a reflection of the infinite consciousness that resides within us. So, how does this understanding help us in everyday life? When we grasp that reality is a projection of our inner state, we stop trying to control the external world and begin to focus on mastering our inner world. Through meditation, self-inquiry, and mindfulness, we can cultivate awareness of our true nature. As we shift our consciousness, the hologram of reality naturally changes with it. Obstacles, challenges, and conflicts are no longer seen as fixed or permanent. They become opportunities for inner transformation. In I Am That, Nisargadatta Maharaj doesn't just offer a philosophy. He gives us a practical path to liberation. By shifting our identification away from the body and mind, and by recognizing ourselves as pure awareness, we begin to see that the world is not something we are trapped in but something we are creating. This understanding brings freedom, joy, and the ability to manifest a reality that reflects our highest potential. In conclusion, the teachings of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj remind us that the reality we experience is nothing more than a reflection of our internal world. When we recognize this, we gain the power to shape our perception, to transform our inner landscape, and in doing so, to change the very fabric of the reality we inhabit.